Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today I'm taking a look at The Outer Worlds 2 on PlayStation 5. This has been one of my most anticipated games of the year. Big fan of the first game, so I've been really looking forward to this one. Now, this is, for those of you who've played the first game, this is definitely very familiar to what you played in the first one, but they've just kind of tweaked everything, made everything feel a little bit better, made everything look a little bit better. There's more planets, there's more weapons, everything, just feels like this is probably the game they really wanted to put out the first time round, but probably didn't get the opportunity or the time or whatever. But still, like I say, what we got in the first game was still very, very good. The only thing I didn't like about the first game was that bloody ending. It was so anticlimactic and a bit rubbish. So, as I said, I've been really excited for this one. This time round, it's set in a star system, the colony of Arcadia. You play an agent of the Earth Directorate. Now, you can create your own agent at the beginning of the game, male, female. You've got quite a few options to create your agent. And you can play this game first person or third person. That's all there for you as well. I chose first person for the most part of the game. It just felt right. But you, as this Earth Directorate agent, you're sent to Arcadia to investigate some mysterious rifts in the space-time. But the colony is embroiled in major conflicts with these powerful factions. Some of these you'll recognise from the first game. You've got the Protectorate, you've got Anti's Choice, and the Order of the Ascendant. So there's a choice and consequence element to the story, as you'd expect here. There's a strong story with a strong narrative, incredible voice acting, different options to choose in the dialogues depending on what kind of agent you choose, and you've got loads of different options to choose when you're setting up your character. I don't really want to spoil that bit for you. You could choose their skills, you could choose their background, and all of this kind of determines what kind of character you're going to be. And then you've got your skills and your perks that you can kind of add in there. Do you want this person to be, a really good leader, with really good speech that can make things happen when you're talking to people? Do you want them to be really good with weapons, melees, a scientist, a medic, or an imbecile? It's all your choice. You can kind of create the character that you want to create. So the decisions that you kind of make will kind of put you in favour or out of favour with these different factions, sort of thing. So quite a lot of the times you'll be asked to do missions, side missions and stuff on these different worlds that you're travelling to that will kind of put you in favour or out of favour with these sort of factions. It's a standalone sequel, so you don't really need to have played the first game, I wouldn't say. It always helps, I suppose, but I mean, this is essentially better in pretty much every way compared to the first one. So, I mean, if you haven't played the first one, you can jump straight into this. It's not a problem at all. So, there is a real emphasis here, I think, on meaningful build choices in regards to the character that you're developing here and creating. You can invest in the individual skills and peaks, and it kind of has a real impact on the game, sort of thing, the ones that you choose. The combat here is a vast improvement, I think, on the first game. I didn't really have. I'm not really a shooter fan. I don't play Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of those games. I'm not really a first-person shooter fan. So I'm not particularly fussy when it comes to combat in games like this. I'm quite a tolerant gamer, but the combat this time round just feels far more impactful. It feels really weighty, depending on the weapons that you choose. You can go full on heavy weapons, and they've got a real kind of kick to them. You can go handguns, and they're really fast reloading times. You can go melee. You've got massive array of different weapons to choose from, and then you've got like these blueprints that you can find that can kind of upgrade your weapons and your armor. Because you've got armor as well to tool up your character as you had in the first one. You can put, heavy armor on, light armor, and then you can put helmets on, and all of these things will give you little buff sort of thing. And again, you can get blueprints for all your armor and your helmets and stuff to give you. For example, I've got a hat in the game that gives me an extra weapon slot sort of thing, which is always useful. So you can craft all these things as well. There's like workbenches scattered around different planets. You can go to a workbench and you can craft some of these stuff that you've got if you've got enough things that you've collected, because it's kind of, in some ways, it's a kind of like a looter shoot with this. You'll go around the map, you'll shoot and kill and everybody, and most people have got things on their person that you can pick up. Some of these things, it might be, bits of food, it might be weapons, it could be anything, ammo. All of this thing kind of goes towards you kind of like increasing your inventory and getting bits so that you can craft things as well. And you can also break down scrap and stuff that you've collected and other weapons that aren't particularly useful. But you can also save some of these things and sell them in shops and buy better equipment, because you've got lots of vendors scattered all over the place as well that allow you to, buy much better weapons, armor, all this kind of aid as well. You've got also like this other thing that you've got. It's like there's a button that you can press that will kind of slow down time. It's like a time derelation device or something like that, what they call it in the game, which is quite fun. There's also, like, in mid-combat, you've got like your breather that you can breathe. It'll kind of give you some health while you're battling. There's another mask thing that you can put on that'll kind of find like these wires within rooms, so that'll help you find secret entrances and that kind of stuff. There's quite a little bit of puzzling as well in some of the places that you visit. It might be a little bit of a puzzle to solve. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of puzzles generally in games, but I've not found any of them really to be an issue for me. They're quite light, the puzzles, but they add a different layer to the game. They kind of slow it down a little bit, give you a breather. But I mean, the environments here as well just look so fantastic. What you're seeing here in this whole review is just really game clips from the first two planets. I didn't want to spoil anything beyond that for you guys. But honestly, there's some really, really fantastic environments and planets to visit. There's more than the first game. And I think they look wonderful. I love the aesthetic of this game. It's very familiar to the first one, but it's just more polished. And I love it. I love the humour to this game. You get some really, really fun moments that you can do that work really, really well. It kind of one of those games that doesn't take itself too seriously, so you can kind of have a bit of a smile on your face while you're playing it. And it's just a wonderful game to play. I've been having an absolute ball with this. It's one of those games that you don't want to put down when you're playing it. It kind of, a good RPG, you can lose hours to it, and this is definitely one of those games. The performance of this, honestly, I've not really, me personally, I've had no issues in regards to crashes. It's not, I'm trying to remember, it hasn't crashed once as far as I can remember. And you've got your quality mode and your performance mode. The quality mode targets 30 frames per second, and then aims for higher visual fidelity. There's a balance mode which you kind of get 40 frames per second, and then you've got the performance mode which is 60 frames per second. There has been some reports here of like screen tearing and that kind of stuff. Honestly, I've not experienced a huge amount of that, but as I've said, I'm quite a tolerant gamer, so I don't look for them, and it's not really anything that I've been playing in this game has spoilt my experience with it. It has been a joy to play. It's been very fluid, no issues, no slowdown, and nothing really that I can really complain about. There's just been an occasional moment where you'll go into like a cutscene with a character, and there's no voice acting there. It's just letters. It's just the speech, what they're saying that you can see in the caption at the bottom. But that's only happened twice from what I remember, and it's not been persistent or anything. I've not had to restart the game because of bugs or anything. I've not really experienced any bugs other than a couple of hovering animals here and there in the environment that kind of get stuck in the environment, so it looks like they're kind of floating. That's the extent of my issues with this game. So I don't think most of you are going to have a problem unless you really are a perfectionist. Then you may certainly have issues here. So you've got so much going on in this game, and leveling up your character really does matter because it will open up different options to you when you're going around the map. There might be a certain door you need to unlock, but you need to be a certain level in lockpicking and have the right equipment to do it. Or there might be another thing that you need to do, open a door that's wedged, but you need a certain level in engineering. Or there might be some medical procedure you can do with someone, but you need to be a certain level in medical. So it really does matter how you level up your character. It'll open up other options on the map and also dialogue options as well. If you're clever enough, and you're good at science or engineering or something, if you're talking to somebody that knows what they're talking about, it'll give you extra dialogue options that you can add in there, and it'll kind of progress the conversation further. If you can't answer it the way they want you to answer it, it doesn't stop you dead or anything like that. You can still make it through the conversation, but it might not necessarily open up all the dialogue options that you would have got previously, and you might have to kind of solve a puzzle in a different way unless you had that knowledge in engineering or hacking or something like that. So it really does matter how you upgrade and skill up your character. It really can make your game a lot easier or a lot more difficult depending on what you focus on. The game, I think, does a pretty decent job of kind of helping you to balance your character. It won't let you kind of level up one area too fast, sort of thing. It kind of encourages you to balance it out. Some might not like that. They might want to just focus on guns and speech, and that's it. But the game kind of isn't great at letting you do that. So I mean, what you get here, I think, is a really fantastic RPG. I mean, Obsidian are just so good at this sort of thing. There's not a huge amount that I can give you in regards to complaint with the game. I've been having a real ball with it. Whatever weapons you choose, they're all fun to use for the most part. I'm not really a melee fan when it comes to games like this, but I found a melee weapon in one area, I think on the second planet, and it was so awesome. I was using it for ages. So it can kind of make you change the way you play normally as well. You can also get attached to guns. You might overuse them when they might not be as powerful as you want them to be. And the game isn't as easy as you think either. I always start these games off on like an easier level, just to get used to everything, and then up the difficulty level at that point, sort of thing. But even on a lower, easier level, sort of thing, there's a couple of sections where you're having like boss battles where it's actually quite difficult if you don't manage your health properly, and if you go in all guns blazing and you don't kind of think about what you're doing, there's a damn good chance you're not coming out of that battle. So fans of the first one, you're in for a treat here. If you didn't like the first one, it's probably not going to be worth your time. For everybody else, what we've got here is a superb sequel where they've really put a lot of effort in improving all the core systems of the game, and I think they've absolutely nailed it this time out. So I'm giving it a very, very strong 9 out of 10. So thank you very much for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.